Hey guys, it's Brian here again. I'm here with one of my friends, Julian,
Hi.
and we're gonna be talking about some stuff. We're gonna try to post these videos as much as possible. We do have schedules though. So we're gonna talk about some movie stuff today, maybe some other stuff. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, let's get right into it. So,
Yeah,
what did you want to talk about first? And trust me, we're not scripted, guys. We're just trying to sound as professional
we're
as possible.
completely improvising all this.
Yeah.
So I think one thing I did want to talk about is definitely the new Snow White movie. That was going to be a movie. It never did come out.
Yeah.
You know.
Never saw the light of day.
Yeah. I actually heard that the actress I forget her name.
Rachel Ziegler.
Yeah. She Disney fired her. Now I know this is probably old news to some people, but it actually did surprise me. But the movie, not the movie, but more the actress was getting a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And I know that the dwarves weren't actually like dwarves. This is no offense to anyone out in the crowd,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Little people, so probably.
yeah, I mean,
more far away.
basically, for anyone who does know who Peter Dinklage is, awesome actor. He did cause a lot of people's roles during that part, and you actually told me about
Yes.
this, right?
Yes, so I actually, if you guys are familiar with Pierce Morgan, the news guy, he brought on Hornswoggle, former wrestler, and Hornswoggle said that initially that Peter Dinklage is just taking away 7 roles from little actors that little actors could have had. He's taking them away,
Yeah,
and I legit agree with that. I mean, you could have had Peter Dinklage as maybe Grumpy. You could have had
yeah.
Warwick Davis as
Sneezy, is it
Sneezy.
Yeah,
You could have had maybe the guy who played the Leprechaun in the reboot as Doc. I mean, they're just you could have just done so many. It would have given 7 little people that struggle to get roles sometimes. 7 roles. You could have had Tony Cox. Could have had an African American one if you want to modernize it and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it could have just been a great movie. But you initially took 6 roles because there was technically one little person, but they tried
yeah,
they tried making it more diverse. There was I know
Yeah.
there was a woman one, there was an Asian one, a
yeah.
African American one, a white one. There
Yeah.
was an actual little person like.
Yeah, which was actually
Yeah.
which is fine actually, but the problem was to Peter Dinklage it was too offensive,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to, I guess, not to offend anyone these days. I really can't see how it's been part of the movie. I mean, Snow White.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie has been around since what
1940s.
1930s, 40s. I mean,
The story's been around since the 1800s.
yeah. So I mean, it's definitely it's been around longer than pretty much all of us that are watching this video right now. So
Well,
I mean.
Well, the problem that I had with it, I love Peter Dinklage. I think he's an awesome actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah.
He, for years, now he's in a position where he is the highest paid little person actor. Excuse me. But he, for years, was cashing checks for little people roles, like elves. Like, he played the little man in Elf. His character was called Little Elf.
Yeah.
Wasn't technically an elf in the movie. He played another movie, I forget the name of it, where he was a little person that was struggling. I think the movie's called Midget. It's a kind of derogatory name, but
Yeah.
he's willing to cash checks for years, all these roles. But now that he's all rich, he doesn't want to do these roles.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the difference between him and Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis has been doing these roles for years, Leprechaun and elves and stuff, but he's not being hypocritical of it. He's, like, owning that he does, like... I just think it's kind of disrespectful to the community because he just cost 6 people jobs.
Yeah.
And the main problem that I brought with the movie, if you guys seen any of my other videos, I said the movie's going to be woke. And this is not politically at all. In a movie, yes, you got to change some certain things when you're turning an animated thing into a movie. You got to add some stuff to it to make it a movie because movies are longer than animated specials. It's sort of like, I guess, if you compare it to the original Willy Wonka, that was very different from the book. But it still had the same premise of Oompa Loompas, the 5 children, the man who owns the chocolate factory is mysterious. It didn't change the story, like the moral of the story. This Snow White movie, from the parts of the script that were leaked, and from what Rachel Zegler brought up, it changed the whole story. I mean, no prince. The queen has a part in it, but it's going to be very short. There's no actual 7 dwarves. Snow White is not a princess. I mean, it's really just changing the entire premise of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand it.
And actually, just to relate to that, I was going to mention that the whole reason for the movie, or for the actress that's playing Snow White, wants to prove that women can be independent, and how, like, I guess she can live and survive and, like, do all this on her own and doesn't need a prince at all.
Yeah.
And that, like, for me, like, all right, like, that did it. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
You're, like, excluding, like, one of the main characters throughout the story,
Yeah, so on the part that I said about that, I mean, if you want to have a few scenes where she has, like, I guess you could compare this to the Wednesday series, like a girl power where she can fight the villains on her own stuff. You can include that to modernize the movie.
You can, yeah.
But initially, to take the whole princess character out of it, I mean, you could even change the ending to where she saves herself.
Yeah.
But to take the entire prince out of it simply because he's the male figure, I mean, I'm not trying to sound sexist. I'm just being honest. I mean, you cannot do that. I mean, that's like in Willy Wonka. That's sort of like taking Charlie out of the story because Charlie's poor or whatever. Or taking Veruca because she's the rich character. Like, you guys get what I mean? Like, that's just taking the premise of the story. Or that's like taking the Oompa Loompas out because they're Oompa Loompa. Like, it changes the entire premise of the story, and that's what I don't like about it.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much everything that you said was all right. I mean, during her in one of the videos that I've seen of her, with the what's the Wonder Woman actress's name? I forget.
Oh, I forget.
Gal Gadot, or something like that.
Not a fan of her either.
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, I mean, the whole thing was like them being independent, which, just like you said, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
That's there are a lot of more animated Disney movies that have done that, like Tangled, Frozen.
They did it with this isn't Disney, but they did it with the Mario movie when Peach was fighting Bowser.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much any movie or animated movie you can think of. I mean, it hasn't been done already. But I mean, just her whole perspective was that the movie was outdated. And I'm not really sure what she meant by that when she said outdated. I mean, okay, yeah, like the story is old.
Yeah.
But I mean, what you're doing is like, it's completely wrong.
This is going off topic to me. I just want to address something that she said. She said anytime her movie is streamed on Disney Plus or played in a theater or anywhere, she should get money for it. Yeah. First couple times, all right, that's fine. But in the history of acting, no actors get paid for the movie. First couple times they air, they do. But to get paid, to get paid constantly, it's just ridiculous. And that Disney and the companies have every right to sue her for that, which there is a lawsuit going on with her for that.
Yeah.
But to get back to the premise of the story, a lot of people said the Barbie movie was feminist and woke. I don't really consider that movie to be like that because that movie, the story of Barbie, like if you read any of the little comic books or whatever, she's that. But Snow White, like I said, you can have, sorry, move the camera up a little bit, the sun's glaring. You can have like fight scenes where she fights herself. You can change the ending where she helps herself, saves herself, but just to erase the prince because he's a male character or whatever, like that's just, it's changing the premise of the story. Alright, you can limit the prince down to sort of like less of a role, but to take him out totally, that's just, to me, that's the wokest thing I've ever heard. I'm not trying to get political, but that's just the wokest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, has this actress like even played in multiple? I mean, is she newer with her like career?
I think she's done like some Disney episodes. Like I know she was on an episode of Austin Alley years ago when she was younger. She's in the new Hunger Games movie that's coming out. It's getting ready to come out.
Oh,
she's in that.
She also played in the. She actually played in the new Shazam movie, the second one, as like one of the three sisters. I actually just remembered that.
Yes, because she's not like a huge actress. Like, and I'm sorry, the person they chose to play the Queen, the one who plays Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, in my eyes, the Queen is. I mean, not calling anybody ugly, but the Queen is supposed to be more ugly. And the story, like the actual story of it, the Queen is not a pleasant person, and the actress is very beautiful. So I mean, I just don't get that either. Like I don't want to say names, but I think there's better actresses that would have done, maybe like an older actress would have done a lot better in that sort of role than the one they. I don't know what her name is, Gal-El or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. But
yeah, the Snow White movie. I know that right now Rachel Ziegler was fired. Sorry, I said her name wrong. And the movie's being reviewed. Usually when a movie gets reviewed, that means it's going to be getting canceled if it's under review.
Yeah.
It happens so a lot. They did it to the Freddy vs. Jason sequel years ago. If it's getting reviewed, there's about a 9 out of 10 chance it's getting canceled.
Yeah.
That's it's also sort of like the recent Flash movie. The movie wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but a lot of people didn't go see it because Ezra Miller, all the stuff that he was saying and doing in actual life, that affected it. So I think Disney's making the right choice because there's probably a lot of people that aren't going to watch the movie simply because Rachel Ziegler's in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like the question, like, all these, like, princess movies that they made, a majority, like, they made a live-action Cinderella movie already.
Mm-hmm.
They made a live-action Beauty and the Beast movie. They made two of them. They made 2 Cinderellas. They haven't done too well. I know the Alice in Wonderland, I don't know if Alice is considered to be a princess, really, but those ones did well, the live-action, but, I mean... Yeah. I think Disney should just come up with new ideas, in my opinion, instead of trying to...
Yeah, I mean, Disney is so different now from, like, than it was, like, back in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, Disney was all about entertainment and art. I mean, there's still the art was the big piece of it, but the entertainment part is still there. But they're not doing it the right way though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like back when Disney had like the lessons in every movie and like what it meant.
Yeah.
You know, like you're really not seeing a whole lot of that. I mean, I don't have cable. I mean, and I haven't watched Disney Channel in years, and I'm not sure like what other Disney movies there are that even. I mean, do they have like lessons now like they used to, or?
So I like you. I don't have cable either. I just have some my hands are effed up.
Oh man, this camera's like
wobbling. Sorry guys about that. So I don't really have cable. We do have Disney Plus. I really don't watch it much. I know a lot of the animated movies that have just been released. There's the Emoji one. There's the
it's been
one with the
released
water
2
and
years
fire.
ago, yeah, that's a new Elementals or
Yeah, I know they haven't been doing too well. I mean, on the animated side of Disney, really, I mean, there hasn't been any newer movies like a Toy Story from the '90s or like a Up type of movie or anything along those things like Nemo. Like the last Toy Story movie did well at the box office, but it really wasn't critically acclaimed. I know it's been 3-4 years now since it's been out.
I mean, in my opinion, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with this too. Like they should have just ended it at Toy Story 3. Like there was no reason for a Toy Story 4 at all. Like it had a good ending. Andy went off to college, left. His toys, Woody, Buzz Lightyear, the rest of the gang were given to a little girl who took care of her toys. And just to make a Toy Story 4,
well, they're making a fifth one, right?
They are?
Yeah.
Like I said, they should have just ended it at 3. Like there was no reason to have a fourth one. It was an okay movie, but I did not like the ending. Like they all seemed way too happy that he was leaving.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like so not right. By the way, Toy Story 2 is the best one, right next to the first one.
Yeah, I think with Toy Story 5, I don't think Buzz Lightyear and them is going to be in it because Tim Allen said he doesn't want to do another movie. I think it's mainly going to be about Bo Peep and Woody. I don't think it's going to be... And I think Tom Hanks will do it because he's in a point where in his career now where he's not getting nowhere nearly as many movies as he was back in the, even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's in, a sort of role where, pay me. So I think he'll do it. I mean, I'll probably watch it because I like Toy Story, but really, I agree with you, Toy Story 2 is the best one, but, it's kind of running it, it's just running it into the ground.
Yeah. I mean, what was, the last... It wasn't a Toy Story movie, but it was the Buzz Lightyear movie. I mean, did that have any, relation to the... I mean, I don't think it did. So. It was just his own, thing.
No. It was about the character Buzz Lightyear. It was about, the actual, Space Ranger.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, if you remember years ago, there was something that played on Disney when I was a little kid. You might have seen it, a Buzz Lightyear that had Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
It was different type of animation, though. It was, regular animation, but...
yeah.
But yeah, that's the problem with Disney. To me, the last good Disney movie, and this isn't technically a Disney movie, was Endgame, even though that's not technically...
Yeah.
It's Marvel, but it's the same thing to me, but...
Owned by Disney, yeah.
Yeah, so... I mean, that's going up with Disney. Yeah, I guess... you want to talk about movies that are coming out this month now?
I mean, yeah. Another movie that I've been looking forward to seeing come out was definitely the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I was definitely not expecting... I mean, people have been talking about it for years. I mean, the game has been around since, 2014. And, since it's kind of, not old, but an older game, there used to be so much hype over it because, the game was shrouded in mysteries and no one knew, a whole lot about the game at the time and, what secrets were held. But now, today, we pretty much know everything, and people have been waiting. OG FNAF fans have been waiting for this movie to come out, and it's finally happened.
Yeah, like I said, you guys know I'm not really into video games that much, and I don't ever play them really. But I saw the Mario movie a few months ago, and I don't play video games whatsoever, but it was a very good movie. I said it was a 9 out of 10 to me. I mean, a lot of the gamers said it was 10 out of 10 because they're more into it, but a very good movie. So, I mean, I'm going to watch it. It's got Matthew Leonard. It's also got the guy from, he plays in Hunger Games. He was also in that movie RV years ago with Robin Williams, the actor. He was a little kid. He's a grown-up now.
Yeah.
We're going to go see it on, what is it, 28th, 27th?
The 27th of October, which is a Friday, I believe.
Yeah. Matthew Leonard's actually going to be in my area a few weeks after that. I'm hoping to meet him at a convention.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll go see it. I don't know that much about it, but you could probably own on this. There's more. Yeah. There's a lot of people saying on the internet, on YouTube and Instagram and stuff about they're hoping that it's not just animatronics killing people, that it's actually has the whole haunted animatronic thing in it. But there's a lot of people saying they think it's going to be just animatronics killing people. You want to?
I mean, yeah, the whole story of Five Nights at Freddy's is just to give a short and brief story. The five animatronics are basically haunted by the kids or possessed by the kids. And they're seeking revenge to go after the guy that killed them. Now, I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's buff, but that's basically the whole story. We've pretty much seen all the animatronics in the trailers. I'm not sure if Golden Freddy had made an appearance too, which I'll fill you in on all the characters' names. But yeah, there's basically five of them in total, and I'm really hoping it's not going to be like a reboot, Chucky sort of thing, where he's like a killer
AI.
robot doll, and AI, and he's not like possessed. As much as I hate to say it, I think that's what's going to happen though. Like they're just going to be killer animatronics. I think they're going to exclude the whole, killer thing.
Yeah.
Because I think if they did, that would make the story a lot longer, and they just couldn't fit all that in. It may not be though. I'm not sure. It may or may not. But I think that's what's possibly going to happen though.
Yeah. I don't want to speak for any gamers, but I know I've been seeing YouTube videos of people saying that it's going to be a cheesier movie because Matthew Leonard and I can't remember the actor's name from Hunger Games and RV. Yeah. Lately, their movies have just been, in the past few years, have just been these low-budget, cheap movies. So I actually had someone that compared to the Monsters movie. I don't know if you see. I didn't see it. That came out that Rob Zombie made about the Monsters TV show from the '60s that came out last year. That it's trying its best, but it's just really low budget and not the best script. That's what I've been hearing. Yeah. But I guess you can't judge a book by its cover until you actually read the book. So
from the trailers, it looks good. It's a trailer. Trailers do that. So
yeah, they do.
It looks promising. It probably will look a little cheesy. To have Five Nights at Freddy's, which is such a big game all around the world, to be finally a movie, it's quite a big deal, and many FNAF fans have been waiting for the Springlock failure thing that's going to happen. Or if that's going to happen, that'd be cool to watch. And it is rated PG-13,
yeah,
which is now a lot of FNAF fans or anyone who does know FNAF wanted it to be rated R because it is a pretty scary game. Like I was afraid of it when I was back in 5th grade. I've grown out of it now, but to hear that it is rated PG-13 though, which is that's kind of a bonus, I guess. It's gonna have. I'm not sure if it's gonna have. It's probably gonna have some blood in it. But it's not going to be gory, I don't think. Because most of Five Nights at Freddy's games, or FNAF fan games, really don't have that much blood in it. And, that's something that this movie needs, is definitely blood. Definitely make it more of a horror. But, I guess PG-13 is good enough. I'm not sure.
So, would you say it's going to be more of like a It reboot, like sort of that tone of like, sort of like a teenager movie that kind of has some jokes in it, but then there's like people getting killed at the same time. Kind of like a, I don't want to say like a Leprechaun movie, but kind of like, you've seen the It reboot, like sort of like a,
yeah.
Just kind of like a teenager movie. Like, Is a teenager going to be fighting the animatronics, or?
That I'm not sure. They're probably, they're robots, so he's probably not going to be like handling them hand-to-hand combat. But I guess the whole thing that he's going to do is probably just try to escape and see like what the whole fuss is about. They probably made up the own story, so I'm not really sure like what exactly is going to happen, during the movie.
So do you think it's going to generate like a lot of sequels, like 2 or 3 sequels potentially? Sort of like other horror movies.
It definitely could have a sequel, though. I definitely can see it having a sequel. I heard that the ending, like Springtrap, would show up at the end or something. But it definitely could lead to a sequel. I highly doubt it that they're going to make another one. They could, though, but I highly doubt it. But it could generate another sequel if they did try.
Yeah, well, if it's financially successful, that studio is going to try to milk that profit as much as they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always, like I said, I don't play video games too much. I know Five Nights at Freddy's creepy. To me, when you say Five Nights at Freddy's, I always think Chuck E. Cheese because like the arcade games.
That's what it's based off of.
By the way, the chef in Chuck E. Cheese is terrible, and I'll tell you why real fast. Not to go off topic. The chef, you could see him anywhere. You're not gonna see a giant rat anywhere. The chef, though, you could see him out in your local Turkey Hill. He could be standing right next to you. And I know that sounds stupid, but that's the only one that ever scared me. I mean, there's a Grimace ripoff. What, Munch?
Yeah, Muncher, or yeah, Munch, yeah.
Yeah, but let's get back on topic. Yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy movies, or movie. I mean, I can't wait to see, like I said, I enjoyed the Mario movie. I do think it's kind of going to be like a little bit cheesier. Like, just not like the Mario movie, I mean, just like a cheesier movie.
Yeah.
But, I think it'll be good, Just have to watch it and see, I guess.
Yeah, it looks promising. I hope it does well, but, I mean, yeah, it does look promising.
Now, talk about another movie. I don't want to go to like a negative Nancy here or a negative Nick. But there's a movie coming out in December, I believe December 19th, a prequel to the original Willy Wonka movie, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's called Wonka. And in all honesty, I will go see it because I really like Willy Wonka a lot. But I just feel that the movie is not needed. Now, Warner Brothers has not been direct. I know that the main premise is to be a prequel to the original one, but there's references in the trailer and in parts of the script that have been leaked that are to the reboot.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I just don't see a point in it. I feel like, the reboot, don't get me wrong, a lot of people hate the reboot. I liked it because it's like in my childhood, but I can understand that you stand up next to the original one, it's not really a amazing movie, but I just don't see the point in it. Like, no matter how much good acting you get, how big of a budget, whatever you do, great special effects, you're not going to cap that audience that made billions of dollars in that original movie. I just don't think you're going to do it. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I can't see how they can do it. Like the two stories, they both have their own stories, like both of the movies do, and just for another movie to come in and somehow
tie them
together, like it doesn't really make sense. Which, by the way, I personally love the reboot one.
I like it too.
I love Johnny
one.
Depp. He's a great guy. I thought he did great. But like I guess like the scripts weren't written as good, but he nailed the shit out of his character. So I mean,
the tough part about that movie was, it was a good movie. I don't care what anyone says. It is definitely a good movie.
It was, yeah.
But it's kind of like Back to the Future is a classic movie, right?
Yeah.
If you make a sequel, sorry guys, my hair's all messed up. You make a sequel 25 years later or whatever, 30 years later. Yes, you might have some really good actors, a great director, an amazing script and all that.
Yeah.
But it's still not going to be as good as that original classic was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but the main part I don't like about it is, I think they chose a terrible actor, Timothée Chalamet, to play Willy Wonka. I get it's a young Wonka, but I just see him as sort of like this popular jock type. I thought Willy Wonka's character would be more so like a nerdy type actor, like maybe, I can't really think of any nerdy type actors off the top of my head, like a, you know what I mean, like not like nerdy, like just more like a comic book type. Like that's what I would have thought.
Yeah.
Now I know the main premise of the movie is to be a prequel to the original one, and they're supposed to somehow tie it into the reboot because they said they want to make 4 or 5 sequels. So I can already see they're going to run this into the ground.
Yeah.
I know it's a musical, so that should be interesting,
Yeah.
But and another thing, this ties back into the thing we were talking about with the Snow White movie. This is Peter Dinklage complained about this too. More little actors lost their jobs because Peter Dinklage complained about the movie. The Oompa Loompas are CG in this movie, so it's Hugh Grant, who's actually a very tall actor, playing an Oompa Loompa, and I just want to say, it's the same thing. It's disrespectful to little people all over the place that you're killing jobs for them. You're taking their jobs away and giving it to somebody who could get that role. Like, I just think that that's just wrong.
Yeah. I mean, definitely people are really sensitive these days, and, it's really hard to bring out a good movie now. I mean, I can't remember the last time we actually had, like, a really good movie other than probably some kind of Marvel movie or of some kind. But, to go back into the story of Willy Wonka, though, like, again, I really don't see how they're going to tie this in all together. I mean, there's only some parts that do make sense, right? I mean, the only thing that kind of makes sense is, like, okay, I can see him being a younger Willy Wonka, but then it's like, well, where do the Oompa Loompas come in? Where does Charlie in the reboot come in at? And there's like, and especially, with Charlie's father in the original one, like, nowhere to be seen. He's dead
in the original one.
Yeah,
because they say if his father was still alive.
Right, and then we have like this in the reboot. His Charlie's dad was a dentist, and we all know that Willy Wonka, when he was younger, his dad was a dentist, or not a dentist. His Charlie's dad
worked in a dental factory.
The
the tough part about it is, for years there's been a theory that Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka is the grown-up Charlie from the original one. That can make sense. I can see that, but it doesn't. The father part doesn't make sense, and also the part of, is it just a coincidence that there's a boy that's named Charlie that has a Grandpa Joe, a Grandpa George, a Grandma Josephine, and what was his other grandmother's name? I can't remember.
Georgina or something like Grandpa. Grandma. Yeah.
But is that just coincidence? And they're so like dirt poor that all they can afford is cabbage soup. I mean, that's just my question. I will watch it. I'm not going to go in with high expectations. Who knows? It could be really good for all we know.
It could be, yeah.
It's doubtful because I really like that Gene Wilder original role. But, yeah, another thing I wanted to bring up in the video. So, Violent Night, if you guys seen Violent Night, I thought that was an amazing movie that came out last year. There's apparently, I'm not sure if the sequel's coming out this year in December or next year. I'm pretty sure that it's this year. The rumor is that it's going to be a crossover between Krampus from the 2015 movie and Violent Night. They're going to, fight each other in the beginning. They're going to end up fighting these or cartel people.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that'd be a great crossover. I've
Yeah.
seen that was the Krampus one you showed me, right?
Yes, from 2015.
Yeah, I thought
Jack in the Box.
David Lauper, I think that's his name, the actor that plays Santa in Violent Night. He did really good with the role, and we were the only ones there in the movie theater. And we had a lot of fun watching it.
We were a dead movie theater though.
Yeah. It was pretty funny though too. It was just a really good movie to watch with your friends. I thought it was pretty interesting. And to have a crossover with
Krampus, which is also a pretty funny movie. It's supposed to be horror.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely, this could be a really good movie. It has potential, if this does happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's one part in Violent Night that makes me laugh so hard when this guy's trying to kill him, and he's he's got his hands on the table. He's like, big bad fat old man. He just takes pulls his. I know this is so messed up, but he hits him in the knuckles, and that's just got to be so painful. But it was just so hilarious at the same time. There's another part in the movie where they're looking at the cameras and they see him running across, going fuck. I'm not really. I don't really find cursing funny, but I just found that funny. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Krampus movie too. So I mean, it would be interesting to see them fight each other than fight these cartel dealers that are murderers. But it probably won't be as good as the first Violent Night movie. But I do certainly think that it will be a good movie. And,
me too. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there's Chucky season 3. I did watch the first episode. We'll be honest, it was boring. I didn't watch any of season 2, so I really don't understand it. But is Chucky dead? Not in the dead way in the movies. I mean, is Chucky are the movies dead? I mean, it's season 3, so I mean, it must be making some sort of money to get approved for 3 seasons.
I mean, personally, I have not watched any of the seasons. I'm not really that into. I am into horror, but I really don't keep up with with the Chucky series or anything. What's it like? Is it is anything like the Scream series at all, or is it
It's basically just Chucky, and he's fighting these group of kids. I've seen season 1 and the first episode of season 3. I've seen clips of season 2. It's basically Chucky. He's in the town, trying to kill these kids.
Yeah.
Andy's in it. Andy and Kyle from the second one are both same actress came back. Yeah, pretty cool. They're trying to find Chucky and stop. There's multiple Chuckies because since Colt. Tiffany's still Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
But in the one episode, I know that she had spent over $100 million, and she was about to get thrown out of her mansion. So, and I know that Glenn shows up as a human at some point, but I didn't watch any of season 2. I just seen clips of it.
Wow.
Somebody actually said that it's Designated Survivor and Chucky merch because he's in the White House. So he did kill the president. Yeah. So I mean that's pretty. But it was kind of boring. I mean I was kind of distracted, but I'll finish watching it. But Chucky's awesome. I've made so many movies.
I mean, here's a question for you guys: which Child's Play movie do you think is the best? I mean, me personally, I think you can agree with this too. Child's Play number 2 is probably the best one.
Best fight scene. I mean, it's just I love them all. Even Curse of Chucky, which I will be honest, scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid. I know it's a horror, it's supposed to be scary, but it's just really scary for me. It was shocking. The one I don't like is the reboot. I'm not a fan of the reboot whatsoever. I think the reboot was just totally...
Definitely the reboot was... I would definitely say the reboot definitely was the worst one. If we were to rank the Chucky movies from worst to best,
Reboots
I
are
would
the worst.
definitely say reboot of Chucky, or reboot is the worst. I would probably say Seed of Chucky.
Yeah, that's pretty bad too.
And then I guess I would put. Would you put Colt in front of Seed, or would you switch him around?
Oh yes, I did most definitely Colt. Colt was very good, man. I would put Colt in front of Seed.
Okay, so reboot. Wait, what did we say? We said reboot.
Reboot, Seed,
Seed.
Colt.
Of Chucky. Bride of Chucky. Would you put there, or would you put Child's Play 3 maybe there?
Probably Child's Play 3. In my personal opinion, the first one, the second one, and Bride are my three. Those are my three favorite ones.
So let's put Curse of Chucky like behind Child's Play, or Cold of Chucky, or like maybe in front of it or behind. In front of it, maybe.
Yeah, it is really scary, and I know that hits the point of what it's supposed to be. But
yeah,
going to the theater to see that when all the other Chucky movies make you laugh a little bit, that was just, especially being 8 years old, was very different.
It was, yeah.
I agree. But yeah, Chucky's like that one of them horror movie franchises that I guess will never die. But they did say they Don Mancini also made Small Soldiers. Just putting that out there. He's the director of the series. He said he'd like to do another 2 or 3 seasons and then make one last Chucky movie. And basically he wants to send him to hell. He doesn't want to do any movies after that. But I mean, who knows? They're lucky that they're doing this after Seed, because Seed failed really badly.
Yeah, I mean, I always used to think that Seed of Chucky was entertaining to watch. I never thought it was horrible back then, but when you put them, when you definitely compare Seed of Chucky to all of them, like Seed is probably like the second worst one.
Yeah,
and the only reason why Seed of Chucky, the only reason why I watch it is because of Jennifer Tilly. I mean, she's like
gorgeous,
one of my favorite
great
characters in one of the movies. I mean, and she was hot too back in Bride of Chucky. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, so
it's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're honest here.
Yeah, anything else you want to talk about? It's pretty. We've done this video pretty long.
No,
longest video yet. Usually they're 20 seconds.
I mean, no, I think we pretty much summed it up. I mean, we pretty much have. We're definitely going to have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think for now, I think we pretty much got it.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's it for today. Let me know in the comment section if there's any movies or political things, anything, video game. This guy knows a lot about video games, and anything you want us to talk about, we'll talk about it. Even if we don't know what it is, we'll do research and we'll give our opinions on it and talk about it. So thank you guys again for watching the video, taking the time to watch it. Please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more, and please share the video.
Right
Bye,
on.
guys.